When I got asked, I was very surprised because I was that client that never came in when I was diagnosed. I was that client that never took advantage of all of the services that Cancer Services had to offer during that first year of my diagnosis. But what I have done is I've shared my story. And that's the story I'm going to share with you tonight. And I'm going to apologize because I'm a terrible speaker when it comes to personal things, so I probably will cry. In June of 2010, early June, my life was as close to perfect as you could imagine. My wonderful husband and I had completed our family. We have two small sons, and at that time they were 3 and 5 months old. And during that time, I went to the doctor because I had found a fairly large lump in my left breast, and we weren't worried about it. We knew that it was a blocked duct because my son had just stopped nursing, and so we treated it as such. But as you can imagine, it was not a blocked duct. I was diagnosed on June 23rd, 2010 with stage 3 invasive ductal carcinoma. The bubble that my perfect life was in had completely burst that day. So. In the year that followed, I went through 6 months of chemotherapy, had a mastectomy, I had reconstructive surgery, 6 weeks of radiation therapy, and more hospital visits than I think I can count on both hands, and my husband can attest for that. We need the hospital. And through all of that, I lost my hair. I gained 30 pounds, as you can see in this lovely picture. And I was not very happy with the way that I looked, and to top it all off. But soon after I was diagnosed, and almost immediately, I was introduced to Cancer Services at Parkview Hospital. My husband and I met with our oncology team. We met with our medical oncologist and our surgical oncologist, and they both recommended that day that we go up and visit the library at Parkview. And so we met the client advocate there, and being the proactive couple that we are, we have to know all the information we can get. We ventured into that little wig room that is there and saw the wigs, and then reality hit and freaked us out like nobody's business. We were still in shock from that day, and we were, I think, in denial. We had no idea what the road ahead was going to be like, and I think seeing those wigs really put it into perspective. The advocate at the hospital library told us that we should come here when we were ready. Not a minute before, but when we were ready. And she sent us home with books, I think a DVD, some pamphlets, all kinds of things, and to read and to kind of help us get started on this journey with the information that we so desperately were seeking. And she gave us a little bit of hope. A little bit of hope that we could get through this journey. When we did finally make our way here, a few weeks later, we were introduced to my client advocate, and we were told that Cancer Services was here not just for me, but for my husband and for my kids. And we had them at our disposal, that we could use them as much as we wanted, we could use them as little as we wanted, but no matter what, they were here for us. We knew then that we had someone on our side. I think I met Amber way back when. That we could talk to, someone that wouldn't judge us, someone that would understand the road that lied ahead, and someone that wouldn't wonder what we did wrong in our lives, because when you're faced with this diagnosis, you wonder, how the heck did this happen to me? I've done everything right. What did I do wrong? Why, God, why? She wasn't there to judge us, because we were doing that already to ourselves, so we didn't feel like we were being beat up. What my client advocate did was provide hope for my family. That hope lit a fire underneath our families, that we had this determination inside of us that we would not let cancer break us down, that we would not stop until we were past this. And one of the things that I had said throughout my cancer journey the first time around was, I am not a victim. I am a survivor. At first I said I'm not a survivor because I won't be a victim. And then we realized that we were survivors in every aspect of the word, that we were fighting no matter what we looked on the outside, we were fighting on the inside. My advocate made sure that cancer would not break us. She called me all the time. she wouldn't give up. And me, if you know me, I am terrible at returning phone calls. I'm terrible at responding to anything other than an email because I'm at my computer all day, and if you invite me to a party, I'm probably going to RSVP at the very last minute, and then I might have to cancel those plans. I'm terrible. And I'm self-proclaimed that bad friend. And, when my client advocate called me, my response was, I'm fine. No, I don't need you today. I'm okay. I've got this covered. Don't you worry about me. But what she did was she kept calling me. And she kept calling me. And I gave her the same answer all the time. But what I needed was that call more than anything. I needed that knowledge. I needed that person on my side. And that's what my advocate did for me here at Cancer Services. That's my story. I don't know anybody else's story, and everybody's story is a little bit different. There are so many people in this community that need much more through their journey than I ever did, and hopefully than I ever will. And Cancer Services fulfills that need. They fill it from books on the shelves for that knowledge that I so desperately needed, to wigs, to dietary supplements, to hospital beds. And I didn't even know this until my first Friends for Lunch, that they will deliver them and pick them up from your house when you're done with them, which hospital beds just completely amaze me. And they'll give you rides to and from treatment if you don't have a ride, and they help with financial assistance if you need it. And they put that someone in your corner that will advocate for you, that will get those things or find the resources to get those things that you need. And I could go on all night, once my tears dry up, about how Cancer Services helps the lives and the families of those that are touched by cancer. About how they work so hard to meet your family's needs and not just the client's need during that most difficult time of your life, because we all know it's a family disease, it's not an individual disease. They help you get things that you may not know that you need until you actually do need them, because again, there's so many unknowns that there's a roadblock around every turn. I can talk about the complementary care services, such as the massages and the Tai Chi and the working out, the drum circles, and all those great things that get some of your anger out and help you to relax. I could talk about the emotional support that you find at Cancer Services. But mostly, and I think I can speak for everyone in the room and pretty much every client that comes through these doors, that Cancer Services provides hope. They provide hope for the future. They provide hope in the knowledge that you can face your diagnosis, and that yes, you do have someone to fight for you. And that someone is Cancer Services in Northeast Indiana. I could keep talking, but I'm going to stop now. But I want to thank you so much for just this tiny moment to share my story with you, and to thank Cancer Services for being that beacon of hope for me, and to thank all of you who are walking in the lapper, and who are walking a mile in my shoes and in so many people's shoes, and for your support of this amazing organization that our community so badly needs, and that helps so many people in this desperate time of need. So thank you for that. I will stop where I am.